We are back. Oh, beautiful. Look at this. Look at this. And Freshen, I know I wanted to play in the league too, but with time and commitment and stuff like that, um, it was just too difficult to do all that stuff. So maybe in the future, maybe in the future. But as we continue on, we have Rocket Stars games. Are you ready? Rocket Star versus Adrenaline Monkey. We have a Charco Knight versus Maki the Unbreakable. Very interesting matchup here we have. Puts down a Putrid Infestation, swinging in for 3 damage, really getting that nice, just chip damage in that Dread does really well. We do see a very explosive hand from Rocket Star in his Fire Elemental deck. Slamming down the Swift Pyre, gonna do 3 damage, draw 1 card, passing and drawing as well. January playing for Season 2? Awesome. So 1 more damage coming through that Putrid Infestation, really doing the trip damage. As I said, Dread does that very efficiently. Adrenaline Monkey, I don't know what's in his hand. He could just pass draw, try to keep resources up. He could put down 1 more buff as well. Decides to go pass draw here. So Draga Scorcher is going to come down from Charco Knight. We are going to see a pass draw already. Oh no, that was I was like, how did that draw? So Swift Pyre is coming down. We see the Draga Scorcher come up, remove Swift Pyre with Charco Knight's ability. Great play, great use of the hero power in general. Pass and drawing, just keeping those 1 buff at a time, just removing them with Charco Knight after 1 use. Great synergistic plays. Adrenaline Monkey does have, he's putting down, Death Shroud. Death Shroud is a very strong defensive combo that Dread has access to. Slamming that down. However, Rocket Star does have a Crystal Leech in hand. I don't know if he's going to find it worth it to slam that down. He does have a Magma Worm in hand. He can put down right now. Charco Knight's ability does a 1 damage ping, moves that 1 forward just like Mountain Fort. Looks like that's the play he's going to do. Really just spin that Death Shroud out really quick with the Magma Worm. Not going to put any more damage outside of 1, maybe 2 to keep the thing going. We have an Abyss Tentacle come down. Makia's ability, I believe, does require her to have burn cards on the top of her discard pile. So right now, we're waiting for some cards to be put there as well. There's a lot of burn in Dread, actually. There's Necro Dreadling, there's Shadow Puppet, there is the Graveyard Horror. There's a lot of cards that with burn for Makia to just really have access to. Just past drawing, the Death Shroud is still up. There's no reason to go really heavy on damage. A Tentacle is up, but right now there's not a whole lot of abilities that are worth using to just deal 2 damage. So we'll see what Adrenaline Monkey's going to put down here, if he is anything, or just pass draw. Put down the Draga Hoarder. Wow, Dragas. I can't talk anymore. The Draga Hoarder puts that down. Really continues with the Dread chip damage. Both players at 24. Rockets are, however, having a massive hand size over Adrenaline Monkey. Because of Makia. They do need to start either getting more card draw or getting their deck in its cyclical way that it plays the way Dread does, where the board either fills up or they, with Abyss Tentacles, have abilities to trigger and just accumulate damage that way. Crystal Leech coming down, removing 2 fresh buffs. Very strong play by Rocket Star. Getting the Tempo Swing back in his favor. Playing down a Lava Pools. I'm not sure if he's going to remove... Nope, didn't remove the Magma Worm. Now, Lava Pools, they do have several fire cards in hand for Lava Pools. Just draw them cards. So this is going to be a great tempo swing for Rocket Star if Adrenaline Monkey does not have a Shadow Puppet to answer with. Adrenaline Monkey still sitting on 5 cards. Putting down a second Tentacle. Pass drawing. Still at 5, has another Tentacle out in play. Really just trying to establish some board presence. But with the way Mountain is doing, just pass drawing, really keeping his plays very quick and precisely to the point. We have a Font of Misfortune. That is a great tech card for Makia, as now all cards have burn, which means her hero power is now activated to deal 5 damage with the Tentacle included. So now we start to see how Makia the Unbreakable becomes a very consistent damage deck with that Font of Misfortune. Very nice tech card. I do like that being included. I'm gonna have to try to build that. I didn't know that's how that worked, because I mean technically it has burn, but it doesn't say burn. That's really nice. That's how it works. We have the Flame Chain Warrior coming down, drawing a card off of it. 4 damage, being able to rotate. Font of Misfortune 1 turn forward is great to see. Probably Flame Bat or Draga Scorcher, I would have to say, is going to come down now. Really keep on that fire damage. Just really chip home. We're actually just passing. Probably searching for something a little more defensive. He does have 3 very heavy-hitting combos in hand. I wonder what Rocketstar is waiting for, if anything. Now, Adrenaline Monkey could use an ability to deal another 5 damage, put his opponent down to 11, but then have one more action to do. His hand size is very small compared to Rocketstar, so we'll see what happens. Soul Thief comes down, healing him. 2 damage, 4 healing, a very nice 6-point swing. Are we going to see more uses out of that? There is only 2 more turns that Adrenaline Monkey can get 5 damage out of that ability with the Font of Misfortune being on play. We are going to see 5 more damage come through, putting Rocketstar down to 9. We do have Stream of Tantos, which is a 13-point swing. Amazing, amazing setbacks there. The Invocation of Flame is also very strong to do. Sharko Knight removing that Lava Pools for its last corner, healing for 8, dealing 7 with it. 15-point swing is a great tempo booster for him. His hand size is very strong, but Adrenaline Monkey now with the Dread's chip damage, 3 cards in hand, needs to find a way to get back into this game. There is 5 more damage coming ahead here, but the draw is going to be limited, really slowing down his turn potential with Rocketstar's massive hand for just overwhelming damage going to come through. Adrenaline is going to take use of this time for the 1 Font of Misfortune play still. Using it for card draw. As I said, there's not a whole lot of resources they could have in their hand at this time. Draga Scorcher going to come down. Boulder Feast healing back up for 6. Mountain just has a lot of resources that are just in general heavy damage, heavy healing. Hard to come through that with chip damage as well from Dread. A Shadow Puppet coming down to kill the Draga Scorcher. Very smart play. There's not a whole lot of buffs outside of Draga Scorchers. We have seen the Magma Spitters and whatnot, but there was potential of 6 damage with the Charcoal Knight removing it for 7 next turn. Getting rid of that resource as Rocketstar's resources are somewhat dwindling to reestablish the board presence is a great move on Adrenaline Monkey. They're coming out of the last phases of the game, so saving that Shadow Puppet does feel a little greedy, and I thought that was the right play to do. Having a 6-point damage come down with Soul Thief is a great play. Reswinging the bounce back onto his. However, he now only has 2 cards, so Rocketstar does have the potential here to just wait it out, rebuild his resources, as he does have a more defensive style hand going on right now. We do see Adrenaline Monkey with 2 cards in hand, no burn card on top of the discard pile. He might just pass draw here, try to build up his resources. That Lava Pool is down, but it's not activated for another 2 turns. Still waiting on a lot of fire cards to be played by Rocketstar, as we see Adrenaline Monkey just drawing, trying to build up resources to come back in this game. He's still sitting at a higher life total, which means he somewhat feels comfortable, but at the same time, Mountain can always come back with really big spike turns. Boulder Feast coming down, still keeping a roughly large hand size. We do have a Magmorm. We have Magmorm, Flame Bat, and Inferno. A lot of damage potential coming from Rocketstar soon. A lot of it working off the Lava Pools in general. We'll have to see what his next turns have in store. Adrenaline's still sitting on 4 cards with not a whole lot on the board. We could just see another pass draw turn from him as well. Abyss Tunneler is a great move here. The ability will actually put the Soul Thief into his deck, putting Shadow Puppet then on top, making it burn, so Machia's ability will go off. That's the way everything should be going in order, if I'm not mistaken. That was a great play by Monkey to get another 5 damage out of Machia's ability, really keeping the burn cards on top. Now, he could lay another card with that Tunneler to get the burn card back on top as well to make that happen again. He's got a really nice board state, but unfortunately it might not be as impactful as Rocketstar just coming out with all of these attacks. Crystal Leech comes down, removing those buffs, realizing what Adrenaline Monkey had just set up for a nice synergistic plays with Machia's ability. Still has 5 cards in hand, still has 2 fire cards for Inferno in case he wants to do that with the Flame Bat in Recursion. We'll see what Rocketstar decides to do here. Or what Adrenaline Monkey decides to do. Adrenaline just pass drawing, Didn't have a whole lot of resources, probably just trying to rebuild his hand. Flameback coming down. Not removing that lava pools just yet. Not yet either. Still trying to get card draw. Picking up a Crushing Blow. Now, he does not have Crystal in hand to play it, but it is a second fire card for Inferno to be able to go off next turn if he decides to do that with Lethal. Adrenaline does need to heal now or put down some sort of Wall of Bones for damage prevention, or this game is going to be closed out. Let's see what Monkey can do. Adrenaline putting down the Abyss Shade. Not using the ability. That is going to be the game. Rockets are going to come down 1 damage off the Magma Spitter, 10 off the Inferno. The game is going to be closed out. Game 1 goes to Rocketsar. So there's game 1 of the set. Mudturtle says, Makia does scare me this competition. There are a lot of people running that hero. I'm wondering if there's a list that I'm just unaware of. That Phantom Misfortune is a really nice tech play with that. Feeling like any card in your deck burn. That's very nice with her ability, just 3 damage after a while. It really also does stop down a lot of Dread cards with their recursion. So I wonder how that deck is actually doing on ladder right now. I wonder how that deck is doing against all the Abyss Tentacle, all the High Creator Arwen decks. Rocketsar now with his own Makia the Unbreakable deck. It is going to be a mirror match per se. We'll see how Rocketsar's is built, if it's built in a similar way as well. We already see 3 of 5 cards in his hand have burn. That is insane tempo. I cannot wait to see what Rocketsar comes up with here. Adrenaline Monkey is starting off first. We have an Abyss Shade coming down. Passing, keeping that card hand size roughly around average. Rocketsar doesn't have any potential to come out and swing. Just going to pass and draw. Rocketsar's hand right now is very defensive. It has no offensive capabilities. However, Adrenaline Monkey is going to slam down a Lurking... Was that Lurking Horror? I really should put the Lightseeker's card database up so I can name these cards for people just listening. We have the Draga Hunter coming down right after... Oh my word, where are you? Right after the Gorge Stalker. Shadow Puppet is going to be played by Rocketsar, removing the 2 damaging buffs. No, he's decided to remove the Abyss Shade. Gorge Stalker, thank you, Mud Turtle. Still deciding which buffs. He knows he wants to get rid of that Gorge Stalker. It is an ability trigger, which does help the Shade out, but that Draga Hunter does present a lot of damage coming through all on its own. We do have Venom Feeder coming to get that Assassin skill back, to have a burn card on top now, which means Maki is going to be able to chip and do 3 damage. Very nicely done. Now, Adrenaline Monkey, 2 cards in hand, 1 buff on board, really needs to start gathering resources here. Rocketsar had a very nice tempo swing, removing 2 buffs, getting back his Assassin's Guild, hitting for 3 damage all in 1 turn. Very good card. Makia just going to keep chipping away for 3 damage with that Venom Feeder on top. Lays an Assassin's Guild for 2 actions to draw 2 cards. Doesn't really need more burn cards. Draws the Blood Pact Redeemer, however, which is another burn card. Rocketsar does pick up an Abyss Tentacle along with that, making it so that his he can put down an Abyss Tentacle and have that start chipping for 5 damage when Makia is put online. Abyss Tunneler coming out. Not triggering ability, still trying to just establish a board base while drawing cards is a great play by that. Blood Pact Redeemer hitting for 4, No combo in the graveyard, but putting a burn card on top with a tentacle really is setting up what Rocketstar is going to try and do with Makia's ability. 5 damage, 5 damage, 5 damage. If there's no Shadow Puppet in turn, that's just going to pull out lethal. Now, we do have a burn card on top, but with that Abyss Tunneler, there is not going to be cards being brought back. So... Oh, it's... Is that how Tunneler works? It just moves any one action card. That is exactly how that... I thought it was the top one for some reason. But it's any one action card back to your deck. So Tunneler being a great card in this scenario. I misread that card. I apologize to all the people that run the Abyss package. So we have Makia. It's Makia versus Makia. Ability trigger versus ability trigger. Just keep coming in, swinging for damage. Adrenaline drawing a card off of that. We do see Spectral Widow being slammed down by Rocketstar as well. Burn card still on top, hitting for another 5 with Makia and Tentacle. Great tempo swings here. Adrenaline Monkey now actually having the larger hand size for the first time in the game. We could see a lot of resources being dumped down, really try to establish board presence. Coming off of that Makia horrific manifestation, moving 2 powerful combos from Rocketstar's hand back to the deck, really dwindling down his ability to have a swing turn outside of his board state. Adrenaline Monkey doing 10 damage while keeping the hand size the same. Great play on his. Got really lucky by hitting those 2 combos. Rocketstar probably going to do another 5 damage with Makia after 2 just came in from the Spectral Widow. Putting Adrenaline down to 10. Both opponents just slobber knocking with the Makia ability, doing 10 or 5, 5, 5. Just really keeping that damage coming. Rocketstar picking up the Assassin's Guild, has potential for a lot of card draw next turn. Adrenaline Monkey putting a Soul Thief down, 4 healing, 2 damage, but no burn card on top. No Font of Misfortune. Really needs to start drawing, getting resources back up to be able to put Makia back online. Makia now hitting for its last 5. Actually, the Tentacle goes away. It does not hit for the last 5. It just hits for 2. That is how that works. We could see an Assassin's Guild come down. We could just see a pass draw 1. Assassin's Guild comes down to draw 2 cards. Seems really good at your opponent at the same hand size as well. Really just try and get resources above all else. We do see a Putrid Infestation come down. Very nice card. And a pass draw. So now Rocketstar's hand, putting down the Necro Dreadling, getting back 3 quintessential powerful cards from his discard pile. Both Assassin's Guild and the Tentacle back into his hand. He now has a burn card on top. He could just start dealing 3 damage, 3 damage, 3 damage. His opponent is at 10. He could just start using this as the tempo to nail the game out. Adrenaline Monkey does deal 1 with the Putrid Infestation. If he does not get a burn card on top, his Makia not being online could make it so that he does not have the tempo to maintain or keep up with Rocketstar. Does put down a Draga Hunter to try and keep that board damage to keep up with the ability from Makia coming in. Soul Thief coming down for 6 damage, point swing. And a Shadow Puppet is going to kill all the damage. Having a 3 damage Makia next turn, be able to put online because Shadow Puppet is now on top. Adrenaline does have 2 cards in hand over Rocketstar's 1, but he's only at 5 health. He knows that Makia is going to come in for 3 next turn, putting him down to 2. He either needs to use this turn to find resources and draw cards, or he needs to establish a board state and start dealing damage. It looks like Bloodpact Redeemer is going to come down for 4, getting Horrific Manifestation back in play. He could Makia here for 3, heal for 1, deal 1 more, so it's 4 damage. Roughly putting around the same health total. This game is getting so close, I cannot stand it. Makia is only going to deal 3 damage, means that they're down to 3 and 3. Adrenaline Monkey's Makia is going to actually heal him 1 more with the Abyss Shade, so the game is not over yet. Rocketstar does pick up his Abyss Shade as well. Actually, the Makia... So it did 3, and then how did it do 2? Did I miss something? It did 3 from the... So it did 3 damage. Oh! Because Dust Talon no longer triggers buffs that trigger abilities. So because the burn was still on top, predecessing to the Dust Talon Assassin being resolved, it was able to deal the 3 damage while the trigger was happening. If you would have just triggered it, the Shade would have rotated out, dealing 1 damage, and then no burn on top. That was precisely the card he needed to be able to slinch that game out. I don't think there was a single other burn card. Well, he could have just attacked with any attack card, but he needed to find a way to make it so a burn card stayed on top for his ability to trigger because of the way Shade was doing it. That was a great card. He could have Abyss Tunneler to rotate the Shade back 1-2. He could have done that. But that would have only been 4 damage, not 5. The Dust Talon Assassin was such a clutch card there for Adrenaline Monkey to pull out the 1-1 against Rocket Tsar. I love this Makia deck. It is something very new to the High Creator Arwen that we've been seeing in Dread. Really utilizes the Abyss package, but not to the sense where that's how the deck works. It uses it in the aesthetic of it being a backup increase to its own ability, which is probably how PlayFusion intended how those cards to be worked, as opposed to just having the Abyss package work on its own. The Makia deck, I really want to get my hands on and try. I think it's been I think it looks like a fairly strong and refined deck archetype. So I'm wondering who the person behind it, who actually made it, is. I'd love to get their perspective on how they came about being. Adrenaline Monkey playing Quitu now for his 2nd game. It does look like Monkey's going first. Picking up a Chain Lightning off the Quitu ability, dealing 1 damage to Makia. Makia having a very strong opener. Spectral Widow on the board, pass draw 1. He has a Venom Feeder and a Blood Pact Redeemer in hand. Both cards have burn to put Makia online when he needs it, along with the Venom Feeder getting back a Spectral Widow when it rotates out. This is a great early tempo for Rocket Tsar. It feels like a great starting hand for him. Adrenaline Monkey uses Quitu again, picking up that Spark Wisp, dealing another damage with the ability. It does look like Adrenaline Monkey is just building up resources for a very Spike Storm turn, which could be very powerful here, as Dread has been seen and known to do just very cyclical damage the way it plays out. Rocket Tsar passing here, drawing up and picking up the Abyss Shade and a Shadow Form. We see a Vortex Plains being slammed down by Adrenaline Monkey. Now we could start seeing a lot of elemental damage come through. We have Supercharged Twister being played for 4 damage. Now we're starting... We know he has a Spark Wisp in hand as well. This could be a very heavy damage swing turn. Rocket Tsar does have a Wall of Bones to play, but he could just use this to start playing some attack cards, or maybe even putting down that Shadow Form to block a lot of the attacks coming through. Decides to go with the Wall of Bones, realizing that Shadow Form's healing, along with damage prevention from attacks, could be utilized as a much more later one to play. There is also the prevention of Thunder Slugs. Thunder Slug does get put down. There is no Shadow Puppet in hand to prevent that from being played. Thunder Slug on its 2nd corner, really putting Dread in a hot spot here, meaning that there is no other buffs that you can put down to really stop the damage coming through, or have your opponent build up a board state again. We do see a Font of Misfortune. He just played the Venom Feeder, picking up Spectral Widow, putting Makia online now. However, Living Cloud hitting for 9. We could see an Drenching Droplet healing for 5. And dealing... Oh, wow, that is majorly increased. Rockets are now at 6 damage, or 6 health. Putting down Shadow Form after the Thunder Slug goes away. Adrenaline Monkey has 2 cards in hand. This is the perfect time for Shadow Form to come out. Right when your opponent was thinking, I have lethal with this attack next turn. Heals for 5, prevents attack damage. H the Man is on. H-Man the Man, how you doing? So Shadow Form comes down in a very clutch moment. Rocket Tsar does have a very large hand size to come back into this game. Venom Feeder is still on top, so Makia is still potentially damaged to that as well. Quitu picking up the Lightning was it Lightning Conduit? The combo, dealing 1 damage to him as well. Rocket Tsar being able to heal up for 3 right now. Gonna put the Abyss Shade down, drawing a card, possibly putting that Tentacle down. There we go. Makia is now online, dealing 6 damage, healing for 1. Makia is going to start steamrolling if Adrenaline Monkey does not find anything to stop the healing and damage prevention. He was so close to clinching this game out, but that Shadow Form came in just the right time. Rocket Tsar did not play it too early as I would have done for a little bit of damage prevention. Played the Wall of Bones very smartly. Quitu's going to come out with 1 more damage from the drawing the card. passive drawing, knows that he has to just build up more resources now to really come in with a spike turn, because that Shadow Form is going to heal him up to about 17. Makia being used here for 6 damage, 1 healing. Very good turns with Makia being abused. I gotta say, I am in love with this deck's playstyle and theme. I think it's very good. I do love the control. I'm just trying not to be biased, but I gotta give compliments to the person who made this Makia deck. This is the first time I'm seeing it really well refined in action. And the Electro Hopper comes down. It's almost as if Adrenaline Monkey knew I'd be commenting on this and just puts the Bane of Existence in his Q2 deck. I love it. So we see 18-18, but Adrenaline Monkey's board state is much more potentially threatening. We do see the last of the Makia ability coming down, as his next card will not have burn until Font of Misfortune comes. Soul Thief going to come down, putting us to 23, our opponent's at 10. Next turn, we could see the Font of Misfortune come down, making Makia's ability still do 6 because every card now has burn. Very nice tech card in this Makia deck. Like I said, I love the person who made it, and I cannot compliment that enough. I'm trying not to be biased, but I really do like this deck. We have Heroic Starfish coming down just for the 3 healing, because the damage gets prevented for 1. But really just needs to survive in this game, knowing that Makia, as he's played Makia previously, knows how this deck likes to put some damage in. Bloodpact Redeemer is, I believe... So we're going to put the combo back. Font of Misfortune is being played here for 3 damage. We are threatening lethal next turn on board with the Makia ability. We need to see a Thunder Slug come in. We need to see a healing card come in. We need to see something. Draw the Dust Fiend. Quito does not have the pull off. We do see a Vitalizing Frog coming, which is very clutch. So 6 healing. We're back to 10. However, Makia is going to deal 6 damage and a Spectral Widow coming down for 2 more, putting that at 8. With the Spectral Widow presenting lethal next turn. Adrenaline Monkey now being pressured at the finish line. Can Rocketstar clinch this with no cards in hand, as the Makia ability is still online, just representing 3 damage next turn with the 2 from the Spectral Widow. It's all up to Adrenaline Monkey to see what he can pull out right now. Spectral Widow will go through any Bubble Fish, as it does prevent damage, or go through damage prevention. Picks up a Stormbringer, but a Stormbringer is not in a card he can use in this. Gives the good game. Plays a Dust Fiend and lets the Spectral Widow sink in for 2, clinching the game out. Very well played. Very well played by Rocketstar. Has very good timing. Almost blown out there by that amazing... What was it? 14 damage in 1 turn from Adrenaline Monkey. Great plays by everyone. That... Coming in here real quick. I'm being as unbiased as I possibly can with this commentating, and I hope I'm still doing that. But on a personal level, I need to know who made that Makia deck, because I am in love with that Makia deck. It plays exactly how I play with American Control tempo play style. It's not abusing the Abyss package, it's just using it to an extent, but the theme is using the hero ability, which is amazing because that means the hero is the core center of the deck. I will gush over that later. I will gush over that deck later, as I love all the aesthetics on it. It speaks to me on a personal level. I love it. I love it. Now, I believe we already saw all the Fatal Zest decks, as I did give a public apology to him. I hope he accepts it. It's up to him to do that. But I am trying to be as non-biased with these comments as possible now and in the future. I believe Mud Turtles games are the only ones we have left to comment, because he did have to replay his as his opponent. You don't know who made it first, but you made one before you saw any? Mud, if it's very close to that, can I see the deck list? I mean, I think I can make it on my own, but I'd love to get yours just to see if I would make it right. Because, I mean, dude, that deck speaks to me on a spiritual level of it fits my playstyle really well. And I have publicly said that I hate the Abyss package. I wish it would change because I feel like the only way to play Dread is the Abyss. But that deck doesn't scream Abyss package. It screams Maki the Unbreakable is the core of that deck. And because the abilities are not being used every turn and just only at prime moments, it feels like a very nice deck. I just wanted to... Oh, Rocketsar is here! Rocketsar, hello! I just wanted to make a Machia deck. I didn't think of Font at first. I still need to test that deck a little more. Dude, the Machia the Unbreakable list. Someone needs to give me that list so I can take a look at that. Because I think that is a great... Because it has nice tech choices with the Font of Misfortune being able to be played in there as well. This one's yours? Let's not share it with everyone. I mean, you did just link it, but... Not bad. Good old Ferris. Ferris, my boy. All right, so that's awesome. Thank you, Mud Turtle, for sharing that with me. I will have to look at that later. So, on to Mud Turtle's games. Now, I'm not sure who Mud Turtle's opponent is now, his new opponent, but I got the idea of a font from another guy I played against. I was doing homework, so I couldn't watch. Came in right before my matches were done. Nice. The Ultimate Gamer. He took over for Lubers. Awesome. Well, Ultimate Gamer, welcome to the league. I hope you also like my stream and enjoy the content that I'm putting out here for you guys. So, Mud Turtle, no spoilers. All right? No spoilers on your matches. This is the redo of week 1. We were able to comment on his before, see the playstyle, so we know the decks in a sense that he used, unless he chose to use different ones. But good old boy Ferris, can't go wrong with Ferris here. So as we go into the last matchups that I will be commenting on tonight, let's begin. No volume on Mud Turtles. That's perfectly fine. Mud Turtle going against Ulti Gamer. Now, Ulti Gamer playing a Overseer Tusk Rage. Not usually a hero that we see lately, but I'm wondering how these new cards are going to help. It's really hard to speculate how some of these cards will do and how the decks will do, because they're changing so many cards in the future. We do see Crystal Bat coming down, Umbran Informant, clutch card drawing 3 cards off it on first turn. Very strong opener for Mud Turtle, as we saw in the past. Ulti Gamer coming down as equally aggressive with a Tyrax Mercenary, 5 damage, putting that life total back neck and neck. Oakthorn Defender coming down for 2 damage prevention. Mountain Breaker coming down as one of the buffs that just cannot be removed. Decides to pass a draw, just do some nice cyclical damage here after that really big opener with the Umbran Informant. Ulti Gamer has an Oakthorn Defender out, so he knows he has some prevention. C25 Combat Warper coming down for 3 damage. I'm wondering if that would have been better used later to return it to his hand when it's about to go off to really slow down the tempo. But it is 3 damage. He's probably just trying to push Ferris as fast as possible, knowing how explosive it can be. Decides to put the Mountain Breaker down again and pass a draw, get a second Flame Burrower. Lava Tamer is the way to get another fire card, as there is no other Flame Bat or Flame Chained Elder in the hand right now. Ulti Gamer deciding to pass a draw, really build up his resources, sitting behind a nice wall. A second Mountain Breaker coming down. Mud Turtle just getting those nice buffs on board. Nice damage in hand. He does have enough for Crushing Blow. However, he might wait. Like I said, we've seen him in the playstyle before. Really build up his hand. I will open that in a bit, Rocketsar. Ulti Gamer deciding to just pass draw. Really build up his resources as well. Still sitting behind a nice Oakthorn Defender. Doesn't feel too threatened right now at 28 health. Lava Tamer coming down, picking up that Flame Bat. We might see the Flame Bat be played right now, just to get through as much Oakthorn Defender as possible. Oakthorn Defender has 1 more chip damage of 6. However, now Mud Turtle does not have any fire cards to go with Flame Burrower. He does not have an Earth card for Crushing Blow. He's sitting on empty resources. Reckless Tinkerer comes down to restart. Thank you, honey. My girlfriend just got back from court and brought me Taco Bell. She's a sweetheart. I love her so much. Bye. So Ulti Gamer just passed drawing there as well after the Tinkerer comes down. Mud Turtle, realizing he has no cards in hand, draws the Flame Chained Warrior off the pass draw. Overseer Tusk Rage, as soon as that Forest Buff expires, he gets to do something about a second Reckless Tinkerer. Gonna restart that Mountain Breaker again. Applying the pressure at the same time controlling Mud Turtle's board. Those are great cards to have against something like this. I have a Baja Blast, everybody. It's refreshing and satisfying. Grizzo says, tacos. Flame Chained Warrior hitting the 2 damage. Unable to spin out the buff, as was drawn 1 turn too late. However, Ferris being able to use his ability, get back that Flame Bat and that Flame Chained Warrior for just massive damage potential. Coming in after those Mountain Breakers are hopefully going to hit this time around as well. We have an Oakthorn, Moss Ridge Defender, my apologies, coming down, going to soak up a lot of this next future damage. Ferris getting rid of the Crystal Leech, or Crystal Leech using to get rid of the Oakthorn Defender. Wow, I can't talk anymore. Removing as much damage prevention as possible. Mud Turtle knows that he has to go fast on the damage. He's got it all in hand right now. Now is the time to go before Ulti Gamer can come on with his offensive stuff as well. Now with that Mountain Breaker hitting for 6 next turn, putting him now down to 12. We could see that second Crystal Leech. It looks like Mud Turtle's hovering over it, knowing that he can't allow Ulti Gamer to heal anymore. However, Mud Turtle is going to be using possibly a Flame Bat and Flame Burrower combo. No, it looks like he's just preventing his opponent from healing, making sure there is no recovery from what is about to happen. He is counting cards. Is Umbron Barkeep going to come in and draw him? It does look like it's just going to heal him for 2, and that's going to be that. He knows that Ulti Gamers, the way the explosive style works, there's a lot of damage potential coming out of there. At 12 is not a safe spot to be anywhere else. He could Overwhelming Blast him. But right now, Mud Turtle is sitting on some pretty nice cards with the 2 Flame Burrowers, 2 Fire Elemental cards in his hand as well. Ulti Gamer decides to just pass draw, build up the resources. He might not have the damage in hand or any more defensive cards to play as well in Forest. Flame Bat comes down. Are we going to see the Flame Burrower synergy? We are. 2 more damage, getting that Flame Bat in hand. We now have Flame Bat and Flame Chained Warrior. Ulti Gamer has to put down another Moss Ridge Defender. He has to put something defensive down to prevent him from lethal. However, not knowing the Crystal Leech is at hand, Ulti Gamer really has to heal. Otherwise, the Flame Bat, Flame Chained Warrior synergy is going to kill him. Blast sequence coming down. Ulti Gamer says, you know what, either you have it or you don't. I saw you pick up Flame Bat. There's nothing I can do to this. I'm going to lay my combo and we're going to call it a game. Flame Bat comes down, clinching the victory. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. While we're taking a break, I'm going to try and eat a taco. Those were a very good game. Both deck, very slobber knocker. The Crystal Leashes were drawn at the right time to prevent him from having any sort of defensive capabilities. Tusk Rage just not having the damage he needed at the very end there. And Ferris was able to bring back 2 very powerful attack cards from a discard pile. Ferris just had the cards he needed. Going into game 2. It's Taco Bell, so grade D, whatever meat they scraped off the ground that day. I don't know. Mud Turtle sent me his Onyx deck, which he's going to be using right now. Perfect. Thank you very much for that. I can use it as reference now. Ulti Gamer sticking with the Tusk Rage, as it is a very strong, high aggressive deck. Mud Turtle being able to pull off the Moondrifter and Daybreak Brawler combo is very strong for Onyx. He has a Greedy Gemruff in there as well. I love the Onyx deck that me and Mud Turtle have come up with. Mostly Mud Turtle. I started somewhat building the deck, but then he refined it, and it was great to see what he came up with. We have the Moondrifter coming down, have a very nice damage prevention, and then we get to mill a card, having Onyx deal some damage. It's great. It's a good card for Onyx to have. Picked up a really nice tool set in those battle packs. We see Ulti Gamer just pass drawing, trying to accumulate resources before he does get milled. The Moss Ridge Defender is going to go from... Oh, no. The C25 Combat Tech Warper. Probably knowing that he needs his buffs on board for the Daybreak Brawler to really hit home, not wanting that to get returned and have a loss of tempo. That was actually a really smart play. The Moss Ridge Defender, knowing that's there, though, however, is going to make some of these future turns a little difficult to handle. We do have a Greedy Gemruff and a Lunar Shrieker combo synergy in hand. Overwhelming Blast comes down, hitting home for 11 damage, losing 2 attack cards, very strong in the process. Moondrifter is now on top. Mud Turtle probably just going to pass and draw. He is going to go for the Greedy Gemruff play, discarding the Crystal Leech. He did see that Ulti Gamer is only running some defensive buffs. He might not even need the Crystal Leech this game. It looks like he's deciding which card to play. I at this point, just reading the comment, I'm not sure if he meant to play the Greedy Gemruff. He might have just wanted to pass. Because now Lunar is not going to be on top for the Dawnbreaker unless he also lays the Dusk Feeder. See, this is why I do think there should be a cancel button in some of these. If you don't actually play the card, you'd be like, oops, I misclicked. That's why there should be a cancel in some of these choose ones. But that's just me. Scrapworks Bruiser coming down. The Dusk Feeder only healing for 3 and a Stumpdrift Shaman coming down. However, the Brawler is going to start hitting and milling, which is very good for Onyx. 5 damage coming through. Onyx discards a card and mills a card. Stumpdrift Shaman goes away. Hammer down Enforcer. Very nice one to kill. Now, Mud Turtle can choose to Crystal Leech that or pass and draw. Looks like he decides to pass and draw, build up his resources again. Does draw the Blinding Beetle, which could be used to heal him back up, make any attack cards. An Umbran Informant draws for 3. Very good card to Ulti Gamer to have in last in hand. Blastbot coming down for 4, just hammering in and hitting in some damage. We're going to heal for 3, hopefully get some attack cards be tossed back in. An Enforcer going down. Probably going to see a pass draw here as both players, their hands look like not a whole lot. Eternal Dawn being drawn. So he heals for 4, back up to 23. We're seeing a double pass draw. Ulti Gamer sitting at 23, not having a whole lot of resources, just rebuilding his hand size. Same with Mud Turtle. Mud Turtle picking up a Moondrifter could be good for next turn, as he is sitting at 16. Only 3 cards in hand. Ulti Gamer has the option to pass draw here as well to build up resources, as it is a very aggressive deck. So we could see a Moondrifter come down right now and a pass, which is what we're obviously seeing from Mud Turtle to do. Really just try and take tempo. 2 Crystal Leeches. Not sure how well they're going to do in this matchup, as Ulti Gamer's deck does feel like more of an attack-based one. However, he might just use a Crystal Leech right now on that Shaman. Get rid of the 3rd Stumpdrift Shaman, so all the healing that he's seen is gone. Really preventing him from kind of recovering in this aspect as well. 2 very heavy at hitting attack cards or a card draw. Getting rid of the Scrapworks Bruiser, I think, is a really smart play. If you can eliminate the attack resources, you don't need to worry about his draw resources. Hitting him for 2. Deciding not to Crystal Leech that Stumpdrift Shaman, healing him for a little bit. Still not enough for Eternal Dawn. Looking for 1 more Solar, however. Scrapworks Bruiser is going to hit, but he did pick up a Blinding Beetle and a Sheltering Caffy, which could be good back-to-back healing. I'm not sure. Oh, he may restart it. Okay, I was like, is that a May? Is that a May now? Moondrifter going away. He's at 6. However, we are going to heal for 7 here off the Blinding Beetle, Sheltering Caffy. Getting rid of all of attacks in hand. Shelter Cavity is going to come down, heal for 4. There is no attacks in hand, so the Sheltering Cavity is going to be eventually preventing that lethal damage coming through. Ulti Gamer just past drawing. His hand has been minimized twice by Mud Turtle. A lot of the milling is being happened right here. We did pick up a title shift. We could see a title shift come down with Eternal Dawn. Healing for 6 and drawing 2 cards is a very strong play by him to utilize. We could also see Jack of Trades come down as well. Or a Crystal Leech. Getting rid of that combo buff could be amazing tempo swing, as now Ulti Gamer is down to 1 card in hand as well. Crystal Leech could be the solid card that Mud Turtle chooses, and we saw the mouse go right to it. Crystal Leech is going to come down. We might see another Sheltering Cavity to heal up for a little bit. We are almost in lethal range from tech in general. Going to 11, deciding to pass and draw. Ulti Gamer could decide to pass draw here. That's what I meant to say. As he's loading low on resources. Looks like Title Shift is going to come down, heal for another 6, draw 3 cards. Really getting those tempo swings back in play for Mud Turtle to come back into this in his more tempo-oriented style mill. We say Tantosian Blacksmith is picked up. Probably going to look for the Dripping Dagger, as I know that his deck runs Poison in here as well. Or the Serpent's Fang, sorry. We're going to look for a Serpent's Fang, as I have the deck list right here with me, so that's amazing. So Serpent's Fang. Oh, Jack of All Trades is actually coming down. Decides not to get the Serpent's Fang yet. Putting his combo buff down, as Ulti Gamer now has 6 cards in hand. There is also the worry that he does have a Hammer Down Enforcer to remove that. But if he does, it could be a perfect time for the Vile Breath Creeble to just stick in the board. Coming down with a 9 damage turn swing, going from 17 to 8. Mud Turtle has to be wondering, does he have lethal? Why is he pushing so much? He has 4 cards in hand now, getting the 3 healing off of Jack of All Trades, putting the Serpent's Fang into play. Vile Breath Creeble able to come down, and getting probably a pass draw, hopefully finding something here. We have a Daybreak Brawler, which is a great card to have, as he does have a Lunar Shrieker in hand to put Lunar on top when he needs it. C25 Combat Tech Warper coming in, returning the Vile Breath Creeple, putting it Mud Turtle at 8. Does he have the potential cards within the last 3 to clinch it out? Umbron Thief coming out, hitting for 4, putting Mud Turtle at 4. He is getting down to the wire. Ulti Gamer has 2 cards in hand, picking up the Greedy Gemruff. Now, does he discard the Crystal Leech? He does. That's probably the right choice, as it doesn't matter what buff comes out. It's the attack cards in hand he needs to worry about right now. So Moss Ridge Defender does get discarded, and a second Defender gets discarded as well. Are we going to be seeing a Lunar Shrieker? Yes, we are. Probably the Greedy Gemruff for next turn to be able to do something. Really prevent Ulti Gamer from drawing cards and establishing a good size hand. However, an Umbran Informant is the last card being held, drawing him 2 cards. Did he draw an attack card? He picked up the Blast Bot for lethal. I do think that was a big misplay, and Mud Turtle even said it was, for the original Greedy Gemruff to be played at that point in time, taking away his Dusk Feeder from healing him for a total of 7 rather than 3. But in the end, Ulti Gamer came out with the victory in a very big way with his massive aggro style. Finish my taco. Trying very hard not to chew in the mic for you guys. So now we'll see what Ulti Gamer's second deck is. Trying to be unbiased, but I gotta love a good Farapang. I really do. Ulti Gamer is a man after my own heart. Mud Turtle starting with Serpent's Fang in hand, but not a whole lot of offense. We do see a Vicious Scale Fang come down. Farapang dealing 1, drawing not a beast, unfortunately not getting that additional action. So his first turn is very slow. However, Mud Turtle does not have a whole lot to respond to. Has 2 Crystal Leeches in hand. So anything Ulti Gamer is going to do with a board state, Mud Turtle is going to be able to respond very quickly, shutting down anything Ultigamer is going to do early game. Puts down an Oaken Symbiosis. I am a fan of this. However, that is limiting his hand down to 2 cards now, as Mud Turtle is holding 7. But now is a perfect time for Crystal Leech before that Vicious Scale Fang comes down and hits for 5. Oaken Symbiosis also going away. Mud Turtle in no rush here, not even equipping the weapon, trying to draw his resources, as nothing in his hand is really speaking offensive-wise. Puts down the Soul of War for Ultigamer to be able to use Fairpang's ability, drawing 2 cards, possibly even getting an additional action off of the Beast, which it is with a Sheltering Cavy. Really starting to put in the steamroll. Pass drawing. Nothing really offensive yet. Daybreak Brawler coming down. We could see a Twilight Oracle be played next turn just to have Lunar on top as well. Ultigamer is most likely going to Fairpang. We see a Twilight Oracle come up first. That's not bad. Are we going to see a Fairpang with Soul of War, or are we going to see something else? Looks like we are going to see the Fairpang ability come through, drawing 2 cards. Picks up a Beast again, getting that additional action that Fairpang loves to utilize so much. And pass drawing. His hand is very large, so I'm wondering if Ultigamer is just utilizing that Soul of War to build up a lot of resources in hand before dumping them all on board. He also does know that Onyx is a more mill-style deck. He might not want to keep his deck too big in case that Mud Turtle is going to start milling out a lot of his heavy damaging resources. Restarts the Soul of War with Spinebark. Moonlight Burrower looks at the top 4 cards, gets the additional action because Spinebark is now on top. Moonlight Burrower is such a good card in Fairpang. You get to know the top 4 of your cards, so you can utilize Fairpang's ability for the additional action, almost guaranteeing that you will get a Beast. Unfortunately, he does not. The top 4 must not have been that good for him. Picks up a Twilight Oracle, however. Knows that he will draw a card off the damage, and then will have to discard a card and mill a card. Takes another 2. Oh, the Skyward Observatory gets milled. That's a lot of spike potential for Fairpang. Hate to see that go. As we see the Fang come down, Vile Breath Creeble also comes down the same turn. We have a Greedy Gemruff. We have 2 Blinding Beetles. We have a lot of defensive capabilities in our hand. But now Ultigamer needs to decide whether it's time to start going ham on the board or how to combat this. We have a Hungry Behemoth hitting the board. Very good for Fairpang, be able to heal and attack all with 1 buff. Gets really nice offensive abilities capable there. And a second Vicious Scale Fang. It feels like now is the time to just hit the board running and go with it, hoping that Mud Turtle does not have a second Crystal Leech. Looks like Mud Turtle is immediately hovering over that card. Seeing as at 29, is it worth playing anything else? Pass drawing is a fine play by him. 18 cards in the deck. Has another Duskbreaker or Daybreak Brawler. Call of the Wild comes out. 3 damage to board. Paying it with 1 other combo. Great move by Ultigamer. Mud Turtle checking out what Call of the Wild does. 2 damage, another 2 for Onyx to mill him a card as well. That Soul of War being very resourceful, drawing him all these cards. Discarding Bane Bloom, another great combo to see for Fairpang to be able to use. However, just not strong. Crystal Leech coming down, going to remove the Hungry Behemoth and the Call of the Wild. Call of the Wild. Going to see a Blinding Beetle come down as well, hoping to get rid of those Reckless Spirits. Only a Prowling Shimmerpaw, which means that there's no buff removal in his hand as the AI picked it automatically. Another nice little tidbit for people to know that as soon as the AI picks it, if there's no more than 2, it'll just discard them, so you can then use that information to your advantage. Putting down a Moonlight Burrower, being able to look at the top 4 cards, hopefully utilizing Fairpang's ability this time around, unlike last time. My phone keeps going off. Ultigamer did pick up a Reckless Spirit off of that card draw, killing the Vile Breath Creeble before it could mill him out anymore and deal damage. Slamming down a Corvid Conspiracy is a great play right here. Really, after 2 Crystal Leeches have gone, now is the time Ultigamer is probably deciding to push damage forward with his buffs. Greedy Gemruff being played, discarding the Eternal Dawn, which is a fine one to discard as that card is probably never going to be played this matchup. Ultigamer has to discard a card and mill a card, which is going to take 2 damage from Onyx, getting rid of just a lot of resources on board. 3 damage coming Mud Turtle's way. Does Ulti Gamer use the Fairpang ability? Twilight Oracle heals him up for 4 after drawing Spirit Walk back. Laying a Vicious Scale Fang, getting 2 more damage on board. Really starting to establish a nice offensive board presence that Fairpang does so well. Twilight Oracle probably coming down to get that Lunar on top. Great card. Unfortunately, drawing a Lunar in the process, not healing for the full 4. Pass drawing, keeping that Lunar on top for the Daybreak Brawler. Drawing Midnight Strike. Now, we obviously don't have enough resources for that right now. Mud Turtle, Ashward Adventuring, puts a Beast card from his deck into his hand. This is a great card against Onyx, as you can make sure you don't mill a specific Beast card that you might want to keep in hand. There is a potential 6 damage coming on board that Mud Turtle right now does not have an answer to. Without a Crystal Leech or any sort of damage prevention. Does pick up a Corvid Conspiracy off of that. Decides to lay it, keep the pressure on. We are now seeing 9 damage on board from next turn just from Ulti Gamer. 5 damage. He's got a discarded card and mill a card, getting 2 more damage from Onyx. Really limiting his resources, discarding Spirit Walk. And a second Observatory. Oh, Ulti Gamer has got to be feeling this. None of the spike damage is coming out. He knows that Astro has a lot of good healing, as we've been seeing from the Corvids. Or the... Not the Corvids, the wow. The Cavies. Drawing a Reckless Spirit off that, 1 turn too late. However, Mud Turtle is at 8. It's only 2 damage pressuring board right now. Ulti Gamer really needs to draw his hand size back up. Mud Turtle, once again, just going to be very defensive. Going to probably lay the Blinding Beetle into the Dusk Feeder synergy combo. Has Tidal Shift and the Midnight Strike for the Tidal Shift as well. Reckless Spirit goes back, knowing that no combos, or all buffs are safe to play again. Probably going to lay the Vile Breath Creeble, knowing there's no potential damage for that to happen. Corvid Conspiracy spins for 2. All the other buffs will spin out. Mud Turtle is effectively at 9. However, with Ulti Gamer, only 2 cards in hand, now is the time where he needs to Fairpang, search for something potentially. Nightglade Kennel is a great drop right now, as Fairpang is going to hopefully draw him some beasts. Deals the 1, does not pick up the beast, unfortunately. His turn is over. Mud Turtle is going to be healing back up with the Dusk Feeder or Tidal Shift of his choosing. Decides to Serpent's Fang first. 2 damage, spin Vile Breath Creeble forward, milling a card, dealing another 2 damage with Onyx's ability. There goes a Spineback Stockjaw. And we're going to see the Dusk Feeder come down to heal for 7, keeping Mud Turtle in this game. Locking Ulti Gamer out of resources, only having 2 in hand. Really getting that nice spike healing as well. Milling a card as well. It's a lot of things are going right for Mud Turtle. Shelter and Cavi healing up for 4. Are we going to see a Fairpang ability to draw a card? We are. It is not a beast. And a Reckless Spirit being drawn 1 turn too late as well again. So 2 more damage. Onyx is going to mill a card, dealing another 2. Discarding another Reckless Spirit. Tidal Shift being played. Going back up to 20 for Mud Turtle. Drawing 3 cards. Getting that Moondrifter is a nice card to pull up here now. He has a lot of defensive cards, but that Moondrifter is just another mill card, a specific mill card, which is great for Onyx to have. Ulti Gamer deciding not to use the ability of Fairpang, knowing he's at very low health total. Getting the healing off of drawing that Spine Bark on the second card, which means Fairpang would not have worked in the first place. Lunar Shrieker going to pull back that Vile Breath Creeble. That's why it's in the deck. It loves to mill. He's going to slam it down again. Really start putting on the pressure. There's a 10-point difference. Mud Turtle's at a very high health total in this game. Only 4 cards in Ulti Gamer's hand. Doesn't feel that threatened. We do pick up the second Tantosian, which is probably going to be used for a Greedy Gemruff in the future, as it is more of a dead card right now. Reckless Spirit does get played against that Creeble, sending it to the discard pile. Ulti Gamer pass drawing. Did he pick up a beast? He did. Looks like he's going to be revealing it. 2 damage. Mud Turtle knows that the next time he plays a beast, it's going to remove a buff. He may be a little wary about laying that Moondrifter. He's going to heal up for 4 and just pass draw. Draws a second Vile Breath Creeble. Now, this is the second one because the first one got returned for the second play. Now is actually a good time. Mud Turtle's probably thinking about laying the Moondrifter, baiting out that buff removal, hoping that the Vile Breath Creeble sticks on board, as that one does present more damage. We do see a Spiritual Turmoil come down. We did draw a Beast. He is going to reveal it. Probably not what he wanted to do. He thought it was just an okay thing to do. Nightglade Kennel spinning out without actually removing any buff. A very unfortunate misplay for Ulti Gamer. A very bad misclick. Mud Turtle slamming down a Moondrifter and the Vile Breath Creeble. Spiritual Turmoil hitting for 5, but just not enough to bring Mud Turtle down to a low enough health total for Ulti Gamer to come back into this game, unfortunately. Gonna pass draw. Is it a Beast? It is. He's gonna heal up for 3, revealing the Shimmer Paw, putting him at 13. However, Mud Turtle is going to mill him for 3 or mill him for 1. Just gonna get rid of some damage, potential threats. 2 more damage to him. Get rid of that Corbin Conspiracy. That is the 3rd one gone. Going to spin the Vile Breath Creeble forward, dealing 6 damage as it mills 1. Mud Turtle is presenting lethal on board, with the Vile Breath Creeble hitting for 4 effectively. His weapon can hit for 2. Ulti Gamer coming through with 3 damage. Only 1 card in hand. I'm trying to think if the way out there was to Farapang, draw a Beast, get the healing, and then use that additional action to draw another card. But I did not see he was actually out of deck. He only had 1 card in the deck. Duskfeeder's just going to draw, or just to heal him. Greedy Gemruff could potentially make him discard a card, lowering his resources, not needing to do the 2 damage. But Mud Turtle just sinking in the 2 damage, putting him on lethal next turn. Spiritual Turmoil returning to the hand, but with no cards in deck, there's no way that Nightglade Kennel is going to come out. Ulti Gamer with the Seppuku, with the Farapang. Very good game, very back and forth. Mud Turtle had awesome control the entire game. 2 Crystal Leeches in opening hand against a Farapang deck is very critical, very powerful. Milling both... Oh, web browser or something. Milling both of his observatories made it so that his opponent did not have those huge spike swing turns that would inevitably bring Mud Turtle down below. Those were great, perfect mills. Mud Turtle did mill a lot of cards that game, which is the essential point of Onyx to be a true mill deck. Not a fatigue deck, but a mill deck. And as he says, true mill, baby. And that's why I love Onyx. He's in my top 5 heroes because of his play style. Fits mine so well. Guys, I think those decks were amazing. I think those week 1 matchups were insane. Thank you, everyone who posted your games, who shared your games. I cannot wait to do this with week 2. Everyone who is in the league, it is only Wednesday. Try and get your games done. Hopefully uploaded by Saturday morning so me and Mud Turtle can talk about as many as possible. It seems that TS versus OFC is already uploaded. We will talk about those Saturday as well. This format is so nice to be able to not have Cage of Repression, Crystal Core. It really shows a variety of what the decks can be when there's not cards that are directly impacting deck construction the way that Cage of Oppression and Crystal Core are. Because the way those cards are, they're defining the meta in a sense that if you're not running them or running decks to beat them, you're not playing in the meta, is essentially what it comes down to. It's not opening up the broad horizons. H-Man the Man says, tomorrow I'll try to get mine up. Awesome, man. Great to hear it. Great to hear it. Tonight, I think I'm just going to do a shorter stream. I think I'm going to end it tonight. All the games are done. We only have about 40 minutes. There's not much else I can do. I could go in and I could try messing around with that Machia deck. But we all saw the amazing gameplay. I think the deck is pretty well refined. There's nothing to me to test or experiment with. I think I'll just try and build it on my own time. I do have a bunch of Taco Bell. It's getting cold here that I do want to eat with my girlfriend. Yeah, she got home at 7 o'clock. She was, she's a paralegal. She was not in trial. She was at a trial. I just want to clarify that before she gets mad at me. So guys, I think that'll do it for me tonight. A shorter stream, only 2 hours. Had some tech issues there, but we got to see some amazing games by some even more amazing players and comment on them. I do hope you guys are liking the commentary that I'm doing. I cannot wait to get Mud Turtle on and have a back and forth with him about some of these games. But the league is so good and so refreshing to have that I am super excited Mud Turtle was able to put this together and run this for us. So if anyone in chat can do a Thunderfin salute to Mud Turtle for putting this league together, having all these amazing games be broadcasted, be played, get people in the spotlight, get this game out there and talked about. Awesome to see. So thank you once again, Mud Turtle, for putting this together. You are awesome. Thank you, everyone who uploaded your games. Anyone who does see this, try and get as many games as uploaded as you can. Yes, you will get your deck showcased on stream so people will see what cards you have, but they won't know how you draw them. You don't know how you play them. And you have 6 decks to work with in your entire league, so don't be afraid to have people comment on them. It's what you play in the moment. And if anything, other players can use this as research and get more in depth of how competitive play is played. So thank you guys very much. How long is the stream? Saturday? Probably 6 hours. Probably 8 to 2. Mud Turtle will be on for the first. He's got to work at noon. But yeah, 8 to 2 will probably be the 6-hour stream. We'll start. We'll do a lot of comments. We'll get as many games as we can done in there. And then we'll just go from there. So, yeah, hopefully they fix their friends list, because the friends list is literally the only thing stopping us from doing this league. And it's really detrimental that friends list has been bugging out so frequently. It's got to be something more than an easy fix, that it's something to do with their servers. But they need to work on a bug fix, because how frequently it happens should not be happening. Should not be happening. Yeah, it's every time midweek. It's like right after their Tuesday patch comes in or something like that. It always happens. So they do need to work on what is crashing the friends list, instead of just fixing it every week. They need to fix on a permanent fix so that it doesn't just keep happening. Yeah. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I'm going to go have dinner with my girlfriend. I'm going to relax for the rest of the night. My voice is getting really scraggly for talking this entire time, but thank you for being here with me. Thank you for doing these commentary and listening to them. Hopefully you enjoyed them. Hopefully you get to go back, see some amazing gameplays, and just really fall in love with the game for what it's meant to be, which is not a meta defined by 3 cards. All right, guys. With that, have a good night.